All right, let's talk about the single most common reason a garden fails. It's not pests, it's not the soil, it's watering. And it turns out pretty much everything we've been taught to do is actually setting our plants up for failure. So today, we're going to fix that.
I know. That's a pretty bold statement, right? But what if all those innocent little mistakes are the real reason your garden struggles year after year? Well, today we're going to uncover the simple truths that lead to way healthier plants with a lot less work from you. So, does any of this sound familiar? You're watering a little bit every single day. You're spraying water all over the leaves. You see a plant wilt in the hot sun and you panic, right? You rush out with the hose. And then you're left wondering why your plants are always getting sick or just kind of small. We've all been there. But here's the kicker. Those habits might just be the cause, not the cure.
Yeah, it all comes down to what we can call the great watering lie, this huge misunderstanding of what our plants actually need to thrive. First up, the idea of shallow sips versus deep soaks. And let me tell you, this is the most critical myth we need to bust. Getting this right is the key to growing self-sufficient plants, not needy ones.
So, the myth is that we should water a little bit every single day. Just a quick sprinkle. But the truth? The reality is you should be watering deeply and way less often. This simple change right here represents the single biggest shift you need to make in your garden.
But why is that daily sprinkle so bad? Well, because you're basically training your plants to have weak, lazy roots. If the water only ever reaches the top inch of soil, the roots have zero reason to grow deeper. They just hang out near the surface. Then, the moment a heat wave hits, poof, those plants have no reserves to draw from. They get stressed out instantly, which basically makes them a magnet for pests and diseases.
The solution then is to water deeply. And this three-step process is your new routine. First, and this is non-negotiable, you check the soil first. Second, if it's dry a few inches down, then you soak it. And I mean really soak it, until the moisture gets down 8, maybe 12 inches deep. This forces the roots to grow down to find it. And finally, the easy part. You wait. You let the top few inches of soil completely dry out before you even think about watering again. You might find you're only doing this once or twice a week. All right, let's move on to our next big myth, which is all about where we put the water. We've all seen those sprinklers going, showering an entire garden, leaves it all. It looks refreshing, but it's a massive and very common mistake.
See, the myth is that showering the leaves from above is helpful. Maybe it cools the plant down. The truth is, you're just inviting disease. You should always be aiming for the soil, right at the base of the plant. That's the bullseye. That's where the roots are, and that's where the water needs to go.
So, what is the big deal about getting leaves wet? Well, two things. First, you're basically rolling out the welcome mat for fungal diseases like powdery mildew and blight, which absolutely love to grow on damp leaves. And second, it's just a huge waste of time and water. On a warm day, a ton of that water just evaporates right off the leaves before it does any good.
The fix is so simple. Get the water directly to the soil. A watering wand is a fantastic tool. It helps you get right under the leaves to the base, but if you want to level up, soaker hoses or drip irrigation systems are absolute game changers. They deliver water slowly right at the root zone, which means almost zero water is lost. It is the most efficient system you can possibly have. Okay, this next one causes a lot of panic for gardeners. It's a hot afternoon, you look outside, and your beautiful plants are drooping, looking all sad. Your very first instinct is to run out there with the hose, isn't it?
This is that classic moment of panic. You see the wilt, and every instinct in your body screams, "It's thirsty, water it now." But is that instinct right?
And the answer is, well, probably not. This is a fascinating bit of plant biology. That midday wilt you're seeing is often just a defense mechanism. The plant is intentionally drooping its leaves to reduce their surface area and conserve water during the hottest part of the day. It's a clever survival tactic, and you'll almost always see it perk right back up as things cool down in the evening.
So how do you know if it's a real wilt or just a fake out? You use the most reliable tool you have, your finger. That's it. Ignore the drama from the leaves and go straight to the source. Stick your finger a couple of inches into the soil near the plant. If it feels dry down there, then okay, it's time to water. But if you feel any moisture at all, you wait. Trust the soil, not the leaves.
Now that we've busted the biggest watering myths, let's arm you with a couple of secret weapons that'll make you a watering master. First up,
When you water is just as important as how you water. And the undisputed champion, the best time is early in the morning. Why? Well, the evaporation rate is low, so more water gets to the roots, and the rising sun dries off any stray splashes on the leaves, which prevents disease. Midday is the absolute worst time. You're just losing water to the sun. And evening, it's okay, but it's risky because the leaves stay wet all night, which is like an open invitation for fungus.
And now for maybe the most powerful tool in your entire arsenal, mulch. If you're not using it, you are working way too hard. We're simply talking about a protective layer of something, like wood chips or straw, that you spread right on top of your soil. And here's why it's such a secret weapon. A nice, thick layer of mulch acts like a shield for your soil. It keeps it cool, and it slashes water evaporation by up to 70%. That is a massive number. It means you have to water far less often, and your plants have a nice reserve of moisture to rely on during those dry spells.
So you see, when you put all of this together, it's about more than just a list of tips. It's a complete shift in philosophy. It's about developing what I call the deep root mindset.
This right here is the core takeaway. Stop treating watering like an item on your daily chore list. Instead, start thinking like a plant. Your one and only goal should be to encourage deep, strong roots. Every single decision you make, when to water, how to water, it should all serve that one goal.
So here it is, your new cheat sheet for a thriving garden. Water deep, but not often. Aim for the soil, not the leaves. Get it done in the morning. Always, always, always check the soil with your finger first. And be generous with that mulch. It really is that simple.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. Is your garden truly thirsty, or have you just taught it to be dependent? By changing how you water, you're not just giving your plants a drink, you're teaching them to be resilient. You're building a garden that doesn't just survive, it thrives.